There's a place that I know, it's where all the sunshine goes, the brightest spot along the highway 1, a city where you always know someone. Hey, hey, where's it at? Hey, 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 Medicine Hat.
Welcome to Helping Hatters. I'm here with Katie, and she's my lovely hairdresser for the last 2 years. And we're going to learn a little bit more about what helping hatters and helping people with hairdressing, why that's so valuable in not just Medicine Hat, but around the world. Mm-hmm. Haircuts matter.
Yeah, they do.
What made you get into hairdressing?
Like I always enjoyed going and getting my hair done. And I had some friends that were hairdressers, and yeah, I just thought it would be like a fun career, and I was always interested in the business aspect of it, like being able to possibly like own my own business one day with being a hairdresser.
Which you ended up doing.
Which I ended up doing, yeah. For 13 years.
In small town Saskatchewan.
Yeah, small town Saskatchewan, Arcola.
Population?
Like 650. Yeah, very small town.
And how much competition was there in that community?
There was one other hair salon at the time when I first opened. And then like maybe a lady that did it out of her house kind of thing. So yeah, there wasn't a ton of competition.
And business was good. Clearly you lasted 13 years.
Business was good, yeah. Yeah, no, it was good. It was a good time of my life. It went by really fast. Like when I think about 13 years, it doesn't seem like it was that long.
What made you make the switch transition and to come to Medicine Hat?
I was really wanting a change, like career-wise, like stepping away from the business side of things and just kind of having a more show career. And I wanted to move away from that small town. I wanted to live somewhere bigger, a little more opportunity, a little more things to do. And yeah, all my immediate family was living or is living here and have moved here over the years. So that's why I chose here.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and it's been good. I really love living here.
It's been 2 years?
Yeah, 2 years.
And this is your second location you've worked out of.
Yes.
A year at each now, I suppose.
Yep.
And growing your business, because you really had to start over.
Yeah,
from scratch.
Started like literally from the ground up as any brand new hairdresser would.
Yeah.
So that was it has been a huge thing. It still is a huge thing, starting all over.
Yeah. But the risk has been worth the rewards.
Yeah, it has, for sure. Yeah, I really like living here, and Medicine Hat seems like a great community city. That kind of makes sense. Like it almost has like that small town feel, but it has all the city amenities.
You bet.
So I really like that.
And it's really a bebop away from Saskatchewan if you need to.
Exactly. It's not too far from home for me if I want to get there to visit or.
Yeah. So do you foresee yourself being here for the foreseeable future then?
Yeah, I can't see myself leaving here anytime soon. Like never say never, but like for the foreseeable future for sure.
Well, and when your family is located all around here, then it only seems to make sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially you're like me, we have aging parents that are we're going to have to start paying those,
right?
Those first 20, 30 years of our lives back to them for sure. So it's nice to have that proximity and not just let one sibling kind of let it ride on their shoulders.
Yeah, and I really like where I work, so I don't plan on changing that. And yeah, no, things are good.
And how would you like to see growth for you? Like what's your dreams moving forward into the new years?
I would just like to like be busier, like get more of a clientele.
Because there's more than just so and so down the street and so and so
Right.
in their house here. There's
There's a
50.
lot of hair salons and barber shops, and yeah, there's a lot of competition here for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that's my goal, is just to get more clientele, get my name out there a little bit more.
And what sets you apart from your competition?
I feel like I have a very diverse style of hair dressing because I lived in a small town. Like there was no barbershop, there was no hair salon. Like everybody came to the same place to get stuff done. So, I can cut men's hair really well, kids, elderly. Like I do colors, perms, updos. Like I feel like I can kind of do it all, kind of thing, just because of that's what I had to do living in a small town.
Yeah. Well, that's really fantastic.
Yeah. And I do have a lot of experience. Like I've been doing hair for 17 years. Like I know what I'm doing at this point in the game, kind of thing.
Yeah. And it comes pretty easily to you.
Yeah. It's just what I do every day.
It's now like breathing.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like because I am new to Medicine Hat, like I have to try extra hard to like get a clientele. So like I feel like I've tried to like never have a bad day. Like, you know how everyone has like a bad work day here and there, but like because I'm trying really hard to impress people, I feel like that has really helped my career, like starting over and having to try super hard and like impress people. And where kind of you get stuck in a rut if you're at the same place for too long.
Right. But still being authentic enough to not seem like you're a robot either,
Yeah.
I suppose, finding that middle ground of professionalism and personable.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like I'm great at making conversations with people, and like I talk to people that I don't even know like all the time. So I feel like that's kind of like a little bit of a talent in itself, like being able to have conversation with strangers.
Yeah. And there's something maybe mystical and magical about sitting in this chair. It becomes like a talk therapy.
Yeah.
And people can open up and share the wildest things. I'm sure you've heard all sorts of adventures and stories from people.
Yeah, there's been some good ones, been some crazy ones.
Could you give me an example of like one that like rings true right off the top of your head that you're like, oh, that was a wild one? Because I'm sure you can compile a whole book of the stories you've heard.
I don't know if I can think of anyone that's like appropriate for
the masses to hear.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, how about me coming into your former workplace just as a walk-in?
Yeah.
That's how we met.
Yeah.
And we slowly got to know each other. I think I was having some hard times in life and work and just feeling frustrated, I suppose.
Yeah.
And then our conversations led you partially to make a change.
Yes, it did.
To switch locations.
Yeah.
And kind of just embrace, well, if you're already going down this new change path of coming to this new city, why pigeonhole yourself in the first place you land?
Right.
So I guess conversations with people, not just hearing their wild stories or whatever, you get to learn from them too.
Yeah, absolutely.
and watch them learn and grow and change too, not just their hairstyles.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Which is a whole nother question. Like, how many people come in and they're like, I want it completely different from what we've been doing. Like, if I came to you in the new year and I'm going to say, we're doing it totally different.
Yep.
And you're like, yes, please.
Yeah, like lots of people do. That's not something you can do every time, obviously, because there's only so much you can do if you have short hair or color wise. But yeah, people do that. I would say a few times a year. And it's fun. It's nice as a hairdresser to be able to have some variety and do some different things and change up people's looks. And because it's a big deal for some people to go through that change.
Yeah, because as you metamorphosize your life, sometimes the visual changes that accompany that, such as a hairstyle, not just a new wardrobe or whatever.
Yeah.
It really defines the new chapter or era of that person's life.
Right.
Because I used to have all sorts of hairstyles.
Yeah.
My last one before this style was pretty much a faux hawk.
Yep.
And I rocked that thing for almost, I don't know, probably too long.
You liked it,
because
though.
it's pretty youthful, yeah, and I did like it.
Right.
And it helped me embrace some confidence in and in uniqueness, I suppose.
Yeah.
And it kind of becomes almost like a billboard of advertisement for like who you are.
Exactly.
So I come every 3 weeks because I love a good fresh haircut.
Yep.
And
you keep yours nice and short, so
yeah, and when you have short hair, it is more maintenance.
yeah,
to
it is
have
a little more
to
maintenance.
come for the hairdressing part, but it's low maintenance on my end at home.
Right.
It takes me a minute, and
Yeah,
that's
to
on the high end too.
Yeah.
To actually style it, because it's cut the exact way I want it to be, so I don't even need product per se to
Right. Yeah. You
have
can
it
do the wash and go
acceptable.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas longer hair, you might spend more time during your daily get readies to do it, style it, take care of it. But then you only have to come maybe once, twice a year
Yeah, that's
to
right.
have the cut, color, whatever you're doing.
Yep.
So pick where you want to put your time into. And I know every podcast I've recorded for this, I've had a haircut within the few days before.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've had a haircut on the podcast.
Yeah.
So did you used to do like waxing of like eyebrows and like facial features?
Yeah, I do.
As part of it?
Do some eyebrow waxing as well. Yep.
Can you still do that?
Yeah. Yep.
Do you like doing that?
Yeah, I don't mind doing eyebrows at all.
I've only maybe once or twice. My one hairdressing friend who I used to coach basketball for, she convinced me the one time.
Get your eyebrows waxed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's anything I would enjoy doing,
Right.
for sure, but I get why people would do it.
Yeah. It does. Like eyebrows, like really shape your face.
Yeah. Do you ever look at people's eyebrows and just crave that?
Yeah. Crave. I like look at people's hair like that.
Yes.
Like out and about, you know, like
Yeah.
oh, I could do a little bit something with that.
Well, I'm hopeful. Like that's part of the gift.
Right. Yeah, just be able to see it and know what you could do with it, and because there are some people that come in and are just like do whatever.
Yeah,
you
do what you
want.
envision.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is sometimes fun, but sometimes you just can't think of things on the spot either. But
Mhm.
most times with a good conversation, you can figure it out. And
the best part about hair, it's weird. Most of the time, it grows back.
yeah, for sure. And it is like a trial and error thing with like a new client. Like you don't know what they like, you don't know what their lifestyle is like. So
Yeah. You
I
just
always
need
say
to-
you should give, like if you're going to a new stylist, you should give them like a couple times, like give them a couple tries.
Yeah. 3 at least usually gives you like, you'll know. You'll
Yeah,
know after
for sure.
3
You
visits.
will, yeah.
That's what I used to say as a yoga teacher. Like, give me 3 classes.
Yeah.
And then get the flavor.
Right.
Because you can't always know just getting the one taste. Well,
That's right.
Sometimes you can because it's really just not a good connection.
Yeah. Right.
That's fair.
I feel like I don't know how to do it.
Used to
That's
the
looking pretty
updo.
good.
I think it looks pretty great. And I'll see you in 3 weeks.
Yeah, sounds good.
So welcome, Katie.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Tell me more about who you are and how you come to be a transplant hatter.
Yep. Good word for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I moved here, like you said, 2 years ago, from a small town in Saskatchewan. And yeah, I moved here because I wanted to change. Wanted to get out of the small town and move somewhere a little bit bigger. And yeah, I wanted a little bit of a change career-wise as well. Get away from more of the business side of it into just chair renting and just being an independent stylist. And to be closer to my family. That was one of the main reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to be near them and hang out with them more often.
Which you're so glad you did.
Yeah, I love being able to see them more, and I really love living here in Medicine Hat and everything it has to offer. Yeah, it seems like a great place so far.
Yeah, and there's it's a good size, and like you said, there's the ability to access pretty much any service you could need.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
And coming from small town Saskatchewan, that's wonderful to have that right, down the road or anywhere you go in Medicine Hat, like 20 minutes, maybe if you're in traffic, 25 minutes from one end to the other.
Yeah.
And you can go where you need to when you want to.
Yep. Yeah, it's like, I think it's like the perfect size.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was saying before, it has like that small town feel, that like small town community aspect to it, but all the amenities of a big city.
Yeah.
So that's what I like most about it.
And your family's here.
Yeah.
Your now business is here and it's going to be thriving. And you're just in the rebuilding phase.
Right. Yep.
Because to leave something that you were building for 13 years and to start pretty much from, at least you had all the skills and experience and knowledge, but to restart in a new community that you didn't really know.
Yeah, I really knew like nobody here besides my family. And they're not from here.
Yeah.
They had just recently moved here over the last 5 to 10 years kind of thing. So yeah, we really didn't know anybody. It's literally just been like a shot in the dark. Let's go for it and see what happens. And so far so good. Like, yeah, it's going good. You can always get more clientele. That's part of the job, is building up clientele. But yeah, starting from the ground up, if I look back now, like it has come a long ways and things are going good.
Right. And that's the power of the hindsight, because we're too busy like in the daily grind and the hustle and, trying to grow things that we forget how far we've actually come.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
And one thing I've really honed into learning lately is the idea of time that we cannot control.
Right.
So as much as you would love things to be, booked and busy for the foreseeable future.
Right.
It's just maybe not a now thing, because it does take that time.
That's right. Yeah, it does take time. Yeah. And to go from nothing to a full clientele, it's a journey for sure. Yeah. A longer one, but it's
But you have the confidence that you have the skills, the knowledge, and the personality really to be what most hatters would need in a hairdresser.
Right. I really do feel like I have kind of it all going on. Like you said, of skills. I feel like I'm great at making conversations and talking to people. And I feel like I'm really good at listening as well, which is a huge part of it.
Right. Because like we said, it's a little bit of talk therapy when people enter the chair and they'll spill things that maybe they don't even tell their own loved ones. And
it's more than just a haircut. Like there's so much more to it than just like the skill of cutting hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that end. And then there's the, I guess, ripple effect of having that haircut or color or whatever you're creating with the client
Yeah.
on what it's going to impact their life.
Right.
So what do you see the ripple effects being of like, how does a good haircut on a person or the style or whatever it is, the color,
Yeah.
how does that impact a person as they step out of these doors and go into their everyday world?
Yeah. Like it just puts a smile on their face. Like good hair makes people happy, right? Like people want to look good and make themselves feel good. So I think it's that aspect of making them feel good. And yeah, if you look good, you feel good, right? So yeah.
100%. Yeah. And that's why I think I'm noting that a hairdresser does have so much value in helping people
Right.
is I know how much it matters to me every 3 weeks when I come
Right.
here. Even so, I have 2 good weeks.
Right. Yeah.
And then it starts growing out where I'm like, I know I need a haircut to like get to that feeling crisp,
Yep.
clean,
Yeah.
and really just there's something about my glow
Yeah.
when I go out and I have a fresh haircut.
Yeah.
I just do feel energized.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can just see that on people's faces, like when they leave. You can just tell that they're like hair day is a good day. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That saying that they all say, like,
But then there's the other flip side, which
Yeah.
is if they are disappointed,
Right.
don't like it, and it's going to be it's then something they have to deal with.
right. Yeah. And like, nobody's perfect. Like, miscommunications, I don't even want to call them mistakes, but miscommunications happen all the time.
Mhm.
So sometimes someone just can't communicate something as well. And yeah, just do our best to fix it and make people happy.
Well, and sometimes it's that you need a little bit of time to grow into it. Like
Yeah.
sometimes it takes a week or two and then it settles and
For
like,
sure. Yeah. Yeah. Especially if you like are doing a totally new style. Like it's going to take you a while to like look at yourself in the mirror with this style, but also to learn how to do it, like style it yourself.
Mhm. Which is never the same as
As
the
a
hairdresser. Like I
Yeah, yeah.
even had to ask you a few sessions ago
Yeah.
and be like, well, how are you doing that? And how can I go home?
Yes.
What's the simplest
Yeah.
thing for me to go home and do it?
Right.
And you're like, XYZ, and you
Yeah.
should be able to do it.
Yeah. What are the tools? What are the products?
Yeah.
What are the techniques? What are the tips and tricks? Yeah.
And you're okay sharing that with the client because
Yeah,
you
totally.
want them to be able to replicate something that they think is
Yeah.
beautiful, stunning, cute, whatever,
For sure.
for themselves.
Yeah. Like you styling your own hair only helps me.
Mhm.
Like it like not only does it make you feel good, it helps me. Like you're like a walking advertisement for my business.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, here I am.
Yeah.
I'm not walking right now, but
Yeah.
I am recording this session so
Yeah.
that others in Medicine Hat area, which expands out, we are a central hub for so many
That's right.
rural communities and small towns.
Yep.
So there's lots of people to pull in.
Yep.
Probably, in the whole grand scheme of things, 100,000 people
Right.
are in this area.
Yep.
So it's nice to be able to, have those people be like, oh, I like your hair.
Exactly.
Who
Yeah.
does it?
Exactly. Like that's the best advertising in the world. It's
Yeah.
just
Word of mouth.
people being out and about and word of mouth. Yep.
Yeah. Not
Yep.
just the billboard of their hairstyle, but the actual
Yeah.
having the conversation to say,
That's-
Katie at
Yeah.
Lux Beauty Bar,
Yes.
which is located, where are we at?
It's number 21689 Dunmore Road.
Dunmore Road.
Yep.
So in the strip mall,
Yep.
which is by Nutters.
Yep. Right beside Rings and Things and the Hats restaurant right in the
Mhm.
middle. We are at
Perfect.
that.
And you have
Yeah.
a very nice sign out front
Yep.
to indicate. And it's a really large space. And how many other people work here?
There's 6 other girls that work here.
Hairdressers and
Yep. 5 hairdressers and 1 nail tech.
okay.
Yeah.
And then you can do some waxing.
Yep.
So you can
Do
come
some
here
facial
and
waxing.
get a pretty good overhaul.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, like men's cuts, women's, colors, perms, updos. I really like to do it all. And yeah.
And you're okay with kids.
Yeah, I like kids, elderly, totally fine. Yeah.
So there's
Anyone.
no one you wouldn't work with.
There's no one I wouldn't work with. Nope.
What if they came in with no hair? What would you do? Scalp massage?
Yeah, scalp massage. Yeah, we could do that. I also I can do beard trims. So if someone comes in with a beard, we can trim that up and yeah.
And like shape it into
Yeah.
fun ways or whatever.
Yeah, or whatever. We can just clean it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, goes a long way as well.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
really nice. Because I've been to a lot of hairdressers in my life.
Yeah.
Because I mostly have had short hair. So
Right.
you kind of get to see them a lot and
Right,
play
that's
around
right.
with who you like.
Yep.
And I remember going to one and she had never done a Caesar cut, was
Right,
it what it
like
was
a shorter-
called, like a shorter
Yeah,
haircut.
yeah.
And she had just graduated from school, and I'm like, how are you going to? And she's working at like a central salon where
Right.
lots of walk-ins happen, and I'm like, and no styling abilities or
Yeah.
anything, and I was kind of flabbergasted by
Right.
it.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah.
So it's really nice to have somebody who's so versatile.
Yeah.
And also for me, that I just come in and it's kind of like, yeah, the usual. We don't even
Yeah,
have
at
to
this
say
point
anything.
now, it's just sit down and cut your hair and start having our conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, the catch up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
One day I'm gonna trip you up and say,
Yeah.
we're gonna change it.
Yeah. Give me some
Let's
extension.
go this way
Yeah.
instead of that way.
Right.
Oh, extensions would be wild.
That would be wild.
That would really throw you
Yeah.
through a loop.
It would. Even if you said like a color or a perm, I'd be like, what?
Yeah.
That'd
But
be
you
fun.
used to do that, but
Yeah.
I think I'm more down with the au natural.
Yeah.
And I'm quite nicely gifted.
Yeah. I
with
feel
my
like
hair.
lots of people are going to, even if they do come get their hair colored, it's more of like a natural look.
Mm.
Like that is very in style.
Well, and especially as it grows out, like just the maintenance on that. So the closer
sure.
it can be to your natural and just giving it some body
Yeah.
with the highlights goes a long, long way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
When I was a younger person, mostly a kid, I remember with my mom and sister doing the sun in where you
Oh, yeah, I
sprayed
did that
pretty
too.
much bleach
Yeah.
in your hair just
Right.
to do the at-home stuff, which
Yep.
I'm sure it still exists.
Yep. I
Because
think it's still in the drugstore.
again, our hair is such an expression of our
Mhm.
personalities and
Yeah.
professional status, whatever you're going for,
Mhm.
your hair and your wardrobe are really going to speak before you even open your mouth.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it
People are
is.
visual. They like to see things before listening. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's a big first impression.
Yeah. Huge for sure.
And not just for yourself in the mirror in the morning,
Yeah.
but how others perceive you.
Yeah.
So, and I think some people undervalue
Yeah.
how their own appearance affects them even.
Right.
Because as my hair grows out, I feel less energized.
Right.
Like I
Yeah.
feel a little sluggy.
Right. Yeah. You're just feeling a little down because it's just not looking like it should.
Yeah.
Yep.
Same with people, I guess, if they're not like washing it and like
Right. Yeah.
getting it clean
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Just taking care of themselves.
yeah.
Yeah.
So our hair becomes a real billboard for who we are.
Yeah.
And how we feel internally.
Yeah. I agree.
Mm-hmm. So your favoriteest thing about interacting with any client, what really brings you the most is joy?
I think just like hearing people like their happy stories, like people just being positive and like really like loving life, or like whether that's not even just like with their hair, just any type of conversation, like obviously it just like happiness wears off on each other, right? So
Yeah.
I really like listening to any kind of happy story and any good news or any fun things going on in people's lives. Yeah, just makes me feel like happy and excited for things and look forward to stuff and
Yeah, that's good.
yeah.
Well, and then there's that other flip side to
Right.
like when people are sharing all their dirty laundry
Right.
and all the things, all the woes, and and how does that impact you?
Yeah, like I feel like the same as I would anybody. Like you kind of feel for them and you feel a little bit down, but there's also like the flip side of that is being able to like help people talk through their things, and even just listening, like having an ear to listen. And I feel like that goes a long ways with clients as well.
Well, and you just become almost this neutral party that you're not judging.
For sure. Like I can't. There's so many people a day. Like you just do the best you can to help and listen, and just kind of whatever they need.
Yeah. So if you were to expand any of your offerings or trainings that you could do to make you even more well-rounded than you already are,
Right.
have you ever thought about something that you haven't done yet?
I mean, like there's always like I could go into like the teaching aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could potentially like teach hair, like how to do it.
Yeah.
I've done a little bit of that with like having an apprentice
Mm-hmm.
in the past and whatnot. That is a lot of teaching and learning and guiding people through everything the career has to offer. So, but I could, like do that as like a job, like a full-time thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crossed my mind before, but
Because we have a few schools in
there are
town.
some schools here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be one way I could just expand.
Yeah,
my
because you
career
could still
more.
do all your
For sure. I could still work.
how many ever days a week?
Yeah,
you're doing.
just I'm sure there's a schedule that could be worked out, but yeah.
Mhm.
So and I have thought about it and thought that it maybe would be fun to do. And
I think that's great because
Yeah.
especially how versatile you are, how good you are with people.
yeah,
You seem to be able to click with anyone,
yeah,
young, old, whatever. It doesn't matter to you.
Yeah.
And so I can see that being a really good fit for you.
right.
So
Yeah.
that's exciting to
Yeah.
have that as a opportunity for
Right.
the future.
Yeah, even just something in the future, something to like think about and look forward to, and maybe a little bit of a goal to set or whatnot. Yeah,
Mhm. Well, and maybe just the stars have to align and
Yeah.
somebody sees this and I
Yeah.
was like, hey,
you never know.
yeah, Katie would be a good fit for
Yep.
whatever. And like even I love as a teacher, I loved having practicum student. Like I loved having the in-service people who were finally like getting a taste of the real world.
Right.
You know, you learned theory and other things inside the classroom.
Right.
Now we get to teach them what the real
Yeah,
world
exactly.
is like.
Yeah, because you can't learn that at school.
Yeah.
Like what it's like in the real world.
As practical.
Yeah, even like how to like deal with customers and clients and even the business side of things. You can't learn that unless you've done it before.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's a key part because every hairdresser is their own business.
Most are self-employed, yes.
Yeah. So you have to like tell me the parts of running a business that you have to care about.
Yeah, that's right.
Like it's everything. Booking the appointments, getting the money,
Yep.
doing your own taxes,
Yep.
saving money to pay for incidentals.
Yeah, like any kind of maintenance and
Like blade sharpening,
Yeah.
equipment repair, replacement.
and even if you own like a building, like all those expenses.
Yeah, which add up.
And then like even like if you go even further into if you have like renters and employees and you have to do payroll and submissions and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it can get messy.
You're literally like everything from like an accountant to a receptionist to a maintenance person to a hairstylist
To the cleaning lady.
to the cleaning lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
a big undertaking for sure.
Yeah, and that's nice for you to share what it can look like later on, but you build it slowly.
Yeah, that's right.
And you're also going to have to trial and error what works for you.
Yeah, for sure. That's a lot about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I do appreciate that because every, I think, person has an entrepreneurial spirit in them and they have to figure out what works.
For sure.
What their skills and interests, passions, knowledge,
Yeah.
all those coalesce together.
Right.
And how do I move forward? But I need mentorship in order to know what didn't work for you, what did work for you, and then figure it out for myself from there. I think we can fall into where we try and carbon copy exactly
Right.
what Katie's doing is
Right.
what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they're a completely different personality. Maybe
right.
they only really love working with children.
Right. Yeah.
And that's okay, because they actually do say a lot of time in business, like, niche it down
Yes.
until you're like so specific.
Yeah.
And you can grow from there.
That's right.
So did you start in any specific, like, certain haircut, age, whatever, when you first started down your path?
Well, I started working because I needed to get a journeyman's license. So I had to get so many hours in
Mhm.
before I could like be self-employed and own my own business.
Okay.
So I worked at a salon prior, and like I was an apprentice. They taught me all the ins and outs of everything. And then once I felt like I was ready, then I just took the next step
Yeah.
into starting my business. And it was the right time. Timing is key as well. It was the right time in my life and the right time in the town that I was opening in. There like was a salon there that wasn't doing great, and it was just the right time. Yeah.
And then the rest kind of turns into history, I guess.
Yeah, 13 years and lots of renters and employees later, and
So you did have people who ended up working under
yeah.
you.
I did. Yeah.
And any apprenticeships while you were in Saskatchewan, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had 3 or 4
Okay.
while I was in those 13 years.
And they're
in my
not
business.
in that community per se. Like, where was the closest hair school or?
Yeah, the closest hair school would have been like an hour away.
Okay.
So yeah, once they were done hair school and wanted like a job, that's when the apprentice starts.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there was a couple like local girls in town and a couple like from the town over that came and worked with me for a few years, and yeah, got their hours to take their test.
And that only really helps you grow too.
For sure, like yeah, learning from others is great. Like that's what I like about working here with all the other people. Like I have worked alone before and it's been good too. Like there's pros and cons to every side, but it's nice to like bounce ideas off people and yeah, just ask their opinion. And even people are like, oh, that turned out really good. Like that's even nice to hear.
Yeah, because you are an artist.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. It is. Yep.
You have a vision, and or your client has a vision, and you're
Yeah.
making it come to fruition.
Yeah.
And that's amazing skill. And
Yeah.
and there's something about being creative.
Yeah. There's a
And
very
working
creative
with
side
your
to it.
hands
Yeah.
and that tactile.
Yeah.
That probably just, it feels good.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Feels good to make people look and feel good about themselves.
So you're winning.
Yeah, for sure.
No
Yep.
complaints.
And the client's winning. Yeah.
Yes. And with a client wanting to come see you in the future,
Yep.
what would that look like on their end? Or what would the possibilities of trying to get in with Katie be?
Right. I have a very flexible schedule. Like, I am self-employed, so I can work whenever I please. So yeah, I try to be flexible to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
For some people, like I need a bit of a life as well. But
Right.
yeah, like I work evenings and weekends, and yeah, I'm sure there's not a time that we couldn't figure out that would work for people.
Yeah. And how would they book with you?
You can call the salon here. So 403-526-5500, and you can ask for Katie.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can message me on Facebook, Katie Walter, or you can message me on Instagram as well. happyhair.by-Katie-Walter. So,
Okay.
yeah.
And you run your own little square
Yep.
kind of
Yeah, I take
payment
all the
system?
payment.
Cash,
Yep.
debit,
Yep.
credit.
Yep.
Check.
Yeah,
People
sure.
still do that?
Yeah, some people do.
Yeah.
Not too many anymore, but
No, it's
some people do.
kind of going digital more
Yeah,
than paper.
absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. So all forms of payment.
Yep.
They can call, they can message.
Yep.
And eventually when they get to know you, they can maybe have your personal number.
sure.
That's how
Yep.
I just text you.
Yes, that's always an option.
Your
Yeah.
former place used to have a booking app,
Yeah.
but that's not necessarily the case here.
No.
But there's plenty of ways.
Yeah, plenty of way. And like, even if I'm not here, the girls will book. We have an answering machine, so even if no one answers the phone, it's checked on a regular basis.
Yeah. And what about walk-ins wise?
Yeah, for sure. Walk-ins are always nice too.
Mm-hmm.
There's not like, that's not always a guarantee that there's time, but
Right.
yeah.
And usually, what's usually the minimum people, like a daily vibe of how many people are working?
Like how many people are working in here?
Yeah, because walk-in kind of just gets whoever, unless
Yeah,
they specify
everybody.
and want to wait.
Right. Everyone kind of has their own schedule. But I would say like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, most of us are here for most of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mondays, there's a few of us, Fridays, a few of us, and Saturdays, a few of us as well.
Yeah. Mostly Sundays is a no.
Yeah, Sundays is for nobody usually works on a Sunday. That's kind of our day off.
Yeah. And that gave us the opportunity to have the space today.
Yeah, that's right.
To be
That's why
able
we're
to
able
have
to
our
do
own
this.
function.
Yep.
So that's nice too.
Yep.
And it's good to have a break, a built-in boundary day of
Yeah, absolutely.
you need to rest, recharge,
Yeah.
and
Rest day
recalibrate.
is always needed and good for everyone.
So with being a new hatter, we'll say,
Yep.
would you, besides what you're doing here and the potentials for teaching, what about like local organizations or groups? Like, I don't know if you've done things in the past with volunteering.
Yep.
What is that possibility like for you?
Yeah, like I would totally be willing to like help out at, I don't know if like the women's shelter, if like hairstylists go there to do some haircuts every
Right.
now and then, like how that looks or what that looks like. I do try to donate either like gift cards or like some prizes to a few things that I am involved in, like sports wise, like golf and curling. I always try to like donate to that, or just that helps get the name out there and it helps those organizations keep going as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I try to donate when I can, and
yeah.
Well,
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to add or ask me?
I don't think so.
Nothing. Like, why do I keep coming back to Katie?
Yeah, okay.
That's a good question. Do I keep coming back to Katie? I do like that you know now my hairstyle.
Right.
Because I was floundering for a while before I found you.
Right.
And I was just getting all sorts of chaos.
Right.
And I wasn't happy with it. And so you became like a consistent.
Right.
And we got to know each other and could get along with our mentalities in life,
have good conversations,
chat about, like, I like golf. I'm not really into curling, but like I'm sporty too. I play different sports, but I think you do skate.
Yep.
Although just mostly for pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely. Just for fun.
Which is, it's nice to have people who you can connect with on multiple aspects.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I even drive across town since you moved, which, you know, we were literally down the street to all the way across. So I have to do the 20-minute route, which makes me late every once in a while. And I don't like being late because you never know in the weather and the traffic, construction, whatever season.
Right.
But I do know that you've been super smiley when I come in the door and understanding, ready to go, get the cape out, get in the chair. Let's hammer out this haircut and not make it feel like you're rushing me either, or you're rushing yourself. And it seems like you have a pretty good flow about it. Yeah. So that's what I appreciate about you.
And you like the vibe of Lux.
Yeah, this space is really nice. It's bright, it's open. It's whenever I've come here, I like the people that are working here. There's always somebody I seem to know in some capacity.
Yeah, that's what I like about it too, is like you always see each person's client kind of chatting with each other when they're waiting, which I like that. That's like a sense of community to me for sure.
Yeah. And the pet store's not too far
Yeah,
away.
it's a
So
store.
sometimes I bring my dog and it's a twofer trip,
Yeah.
which,
Lots of good things in this trip here.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you have a dog.
Yes, I do have a little dog.
What's your dog's name?
His name is Oliver.
Oliver.
Yeah.
And what kind of dog is it?
He's a Papillon and Jack Russell mix.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So he's pretty smart.
Yeah, he's a very smart dog. Yeah.
And he would love to come to work with you,
Yep.
you as he used to do.
Used to every day for the first 5 years of his life.
Yeah, but now
Yep.
he's older Ollie who
Yeah.
stays at home, chills out.
Yeah.
And then you get to go home and hang out with him.
Yep.
And that brings a lot of joy to you as
Yep.
well.
That's how I spend my free time, is kind of with my dog and walking, checking out the trails.
Yeah, and that's another gift that
For
Medicine
sure.
Hat has.
It's great. Yeah.
There's a lot of paved paths.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And lots
Definitely a big perk.
a pretty decent selection of off-leash areas too,
Yep.
which if that's your jam.
Yep. Yeah, and just good weather.
Yeah, we are.
It's
I
usually
think,
nice most
Yeah,
days
second
of the year.
sunniest city in Canada.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
were
it's crazy.
first. I don't know
Yeah.
why we lost our first
Yeah.
place position. Something
Few less sunny
changed
days one year.
slightly. Yeah, extra cloud cover coming in, but
Yeah.
it is really nice here.
Yeah.
And yes, we have a hardcore winter, but it's still mostly sunny,
Yeah, it's great.
and that helps add to the
Yeah.
more vibrant vibe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, have you thought of anything, or we're good? You don't have to.
We're
Like,
good.
why did I do this podcast?
Yeah. I'm so bad at like
No.
what enticed you to do this podcast?
Partially a lack of something else to do
Okay.
with my time, passion.
Yeah.
I like interacting with people.
Yeah.
This has been my home community
Right.
since I was 6 years old.
Yeah.
So that seeing the opportunity from TELUS come across social media and kind of just called to me saying, there's a grant opportunity where
Right.
you can showcase something about your community. And I was like, well, I want a
I can
year
do
of
this.
people helping me.
Yep.
So helping Hatters, I love alliteration. So
Right.
it just seemed to go together.
Yep.
And the pieces kind of fell in and they said, yes, like this seems like a good project for you.
Yep.
And then you weren't initially on my list.
Yeah.
I had to create a list of people
Right.
who were going to be on here.
Yep.
And then as I came more and more and told you about what I was doing
Yeah.
with it, and then a few haircuts ago, so probably like 2 months ago, I was
Yep.
like, would you be on the podcast?
Yep.
And you were like, yeah, if
A little
I
hesitant. Yeah.
maybe,
Yeah.
maybe I could.
Right.
And then I came last haircut and I was like, would you do
Yeah.
it? It'd be good for you, good for me.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
More of a why not scenario.
Right.
And you said, yes,
Yeah, let's
why
do
not?
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Yeah.
So I'm hopeful that you are glad you did it.
Yeah, I'm like super thankful for the opportunity. Like, yeah, I'm just like surprised that you would ask me, and yeah, I just feel grateful for being able to be part of it.
I think, yes, and you're totally welcome. I just really think that it would have been disappointing to overshadow the
Right.
value that you brought to me in building my confidence
Oh, that's nice. Nice of
through
you
a
to say.
good haircut.
Right.
Right. And our friendship, I would say, that
Yeah.
has kind
Yeah.
of come out of this,
For sure.
that it's helped us both step into a new era of our lives here.
Yeah.
And that's wonderful.
Yeah. It's been, yeah, I'm super thankful to have met you and that you took the chance on me. And yeah, it's worked out great.
Well, thank you again for being a new hatter and
Yeah.
willing to help people make them feel good. One
Yep.
haircut, one style, one color, one perm, whatever at a time.
Yep. That's right.
And I hope things look good for you in your future, whatever it may hold.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm excited for the future and going ahead, and yeah.
Yeah. Keep on trucking, as my mom told me.
That's
last
right.
week. Just keep trucking.
Yeah. Good advice, Mom.
Yeah. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
There's a place that I know, it's where all the sunshine goes, the brightest spot along the highway one, a city where you always know someone. Hey, hey, where's it at? Hey, 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 Medicine Hat. Sitting on the treaty 7 and 4, a sunny spot with an open door, a running river with a few coolies, and the 88 Olympic teepee. Hey, hey, would you look at that? Hey, 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 Medicine Hat. Oh, its roots run deep, the stomping ground of community, a sunny city where you always matter. We call it Hatters Helping Hatters, Medicine Hat. Hop in a hot air balloon, rise up, you'll enjoy the view. Don't forget Medalda pottery, those bricks have history. Hey, hey, welcome back. Hey, 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 Medicine Hat. Oh, its roots run deep, the stomping ground of community, sunny city where you always matter. We call it Hatters Helping Hatters, Medicine Hat.
Helping Hatters was created, hosted, and produced by Misty Zanger and is a Mystified Productions podcast.